Good afternoon. This is Richard Peter here in Dallas, Texas, the founding member of the Glorious National Party and its national political director. Today's date is February the 23rd, 2009, on a beautiful a beautiful Monday afternoon here in Dallas, Texas. First of all, I want to compliment the president on the conference that he had with members of both parties recently. I just saw it on television. He was gracious, an eloquent speaker as always, humorous. I just really enjoyed his conversation with the people in the room, but they were ignoring serious issues. They did not, either the president in his astute questioning or in the wisdom of the people gathered around in that room, politicians that have been there for a long period of time, nobody was addressing the real problems, the cancer at the root of our economic problems, and that is the Federal Reserve. I'll be addressing that more in this video today. Again, I want to compliment you, Mr. President. You did a wonderful job today, and I think you're a great leader. I just think that you need to know where to lead us, and I think you're in the process of discovering that now. I give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm always available to you. Just give me a call on my toll-free line, 1-877-365-0042, and I'd be happy to give you the perspective of a business owner, a man on the street here, to come into the White House and talk to you about what we think. And I'm speaking not only for myself, but for many. I've been in this business world as a private business owner for the last 30 years. I think I know a little bit about how to balance a business budget, pay out salaries, commissions, and all that sort of thing. Take advantage of me, Mr. President. Pick up the phone and call me. Let me come in and share with you the man on the street's perspective, as opposed to your inner circle of advisors and the congressman that you have a relationship with now that seems to be pretty friendly. I have to admit, I was quite impressed. Now, what you talked about today was cutting entitlements like Medicare and Medicaid. Mr. President, those of us who are on those programs, I'm 66 years of age, we get really frightened when you talk that way. You're going to give us all heart attacks. You say there's real problems, we need to address the issues. Everything, again, was very general, not specific. You're just simply saying after all these trillions of dollars you've added to the budget that somehow you're going to cut the thing in half, the trillions of dollars that we owe. What is it, 11 or 12 trillion dollars right now? Oh, I got a new word, trillion. Trillion dollars, okay. Mr. President, it just doesn't make sense to get in the position here to where we're going to be going into debt at 12 trillion and then cutting it at half by the end of your first term, and then we're going to go to entitlements to get that money and possibly have to raise taxes. You've left us all in a state of shock. Your change wasn't specific. Your conversations with the American people are not specific. I love you and respect you, Mr. President. You just simply need to use this great eloquence of yours to come out with just one or two great ideas that we all can agree on. And I'm going to give you those today, and you take credit for them, Mr. President. I don't want credit for them. You take credit for them. But just listen to me, and I sure hope and pray in the name of Jesus that you get to hear this tape. So you're arousing fear today talking about cutting Medicare and Medicaid. Us seniors are going to have to go to the hospital and have our blood pressure checked. The market closed today at its lowest point in a long time. It's right around $7,000. Right around 7,000, the Dow. Do you realize what that means, Mr. President? It means that people have lost 50 or 60% of their savings. These seniors now are going to have to go to work as Walmart greeters, and there's nothing wrong with that. But most of them wanted to enjoy a retirement where they could travel, enjoy their kids and grandkids. You know, Mr. President, you're a man of the people. You understand what this is doing to people that had maybe $400,000 or $500,000. That's not a lot of money. Now they're down to $200,000, and they're told by their brokers, well, just wait. It'll come back. It'll come back, honey. Don't get frightened. The markets always come back. Well, these people in their 70s, Mr. President, they're not going to be around and living long enough for the markets to come back, sir. So I respectfully submit to you that when we get to 7,000, and many are predicting we're going to go to 2,000 or 3,000, this country is going to have unprecedented rioting in the streets, Mr. President. And you're not going to have an opportunity to prop up a three-legged stool and make things work. It's going to be riot control in this country unless we make radical, revolutionary changes, not just nice, polite conversations with Democrats and Republicans that show your consummate skill as a speaker and as a facilitator of group discussion. I really was impressed with you, sir. But you've got to lead us in the right direction, sir, and you've got to lead us with specific ideas, not generalization. Now, we talk about the three-legged stool. The stimulus is one leg of the stool. Mr. President, what you did is went to Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, let them write the bill, the Democratic wish list, the Democratic governor's wish list. And what happened here on this stimulus program, you didn't take my advice and go to the shortest distance between 2 points and offer vouchers, cash vouchers, to be used in a national job bank to where these people could take $20,000 cash vouchers, up to $30,000 in cash vouchers, based on their last year's income, to a national job bank of employers who'd be willing to hire if we presented, those of us who are unemployed presented those cash vouchers. That's the shortest distance between 2 points. But that leg of the stool, that leg of the three-legged stool, you didn't take my advice, so that leg is broken and the stool is going to fall. On your homeowner situation, the second leg of the stool, I told you to put out loans where the principal balance is absolutely reduced to the appraised value of the home. If the home has gone down $40,000, you, by executive order, or ever how you have to do it, you lower the principal balance on these loans. That's the real problem, and you didn't address that, Mr. President. You've got to lower the principal balance on these distressed loans. You don't put, another thing that I advised you to do was to take 1/2 of every payment. 1/2 of it was to go to principal. 1/2 of it was go to interest from day one. I gave you the illustration, Mr. President. You're an intelligent man. You and your lovely wife, Michelle, have owned homes in the past, and you've looked at amortization schedules. You know that on a $100,000 home, you pay $200,000 in interest, and the banks make you pay that interest up front. Now is the perfect time in this moment of American economic crisis to reform the mortgage instruments themselves, which I recommended that you do, and make 1/2 go to principal, 1/2 go to interest in this time of national emergency. No interest rates higher than 4%, 3 or 4%, so that people can, and also that every payment from now on, 1/2 goes to principal from day one and 1/2 to interest. That's only right, Mr. President. The American people are slowly going down the economic crapper, particularly retired folks. You owe us that, Mr. President. You owe us an economic stimulus to get us back to work with this national job bank that I proposed. You also owe us a decent and a fair loan, Mr. President. Fractional banking, Mr. President. Because of the Federal Reserve here in this country and the banks in Europe, we are living on money that is being created out of a computer entry. You know what fractional banking is, Mr. President. What they do, if you go down and open an account with $1,000, they create an entry, and then they can loan out $10,000. If they make a $100,000 loan, they create another computer entry. Now they can loan out $800,000. And then the people have to put up real assets to pay for this fictional money that they're getting, like their houses and their cars, and they're thrown out if they have a sickness or any kind of a job layoff. Then they're thrown out. They lose all of their down payment. They're living in their cars, and many of them are homeless and living in shelters. Now, you leave the Federal Reserve in its place. I've told you on earlier videos that the Federal Reserve needs to come back under the Department of Treasury. We need to burn all the Federal Reserve notes. I've given you specific methods on how to do that. Check out my earlier videos. Let's form a new national currency, real honest money, Mr. President, real honest money, backed in some measure by silver and gold. And then the final thing, I guess I'm running out of time, won't have time to talk about it today, but I'll certainly pick it up tomorrow. But I'm talking about these bad banks and the aggregator bank that Geithner's working on, and the fact that they want you to relax mark to market so they can play some shenanigans with this third leg of the stool. This is the most important leg of the stool, and I think it's corrupt. It's black wood, and when you sit on that stool, you're going to fall flat on your face. Pick up the phone and call me, Mr. President. This is Common Sense. Richard Peter, the founder of the Glorious National Party. I can help. My number is 1-877-365-0042.